This week, the best golfers in the world start their European vacation. It's the Scottish Open this week before the final major championship of the year next week at Royal Trout, the Open Championship in 2024. And then following, we head to Paris for some Olympic golf as well. In a busy time in the world of golf, as we already look forward to 2025's Ryder Cup as well, with some big bombshell news this week. Keith Stewart is here for the next two segments live on this Tuesday on the Early Line on SportsGrid. Keith, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on TEL.
Ben, I love the way you put that. Good morning on a Tuesday. These guys are on vacation over in Scotland. It's 57 and raining over there right now. Pack your umbrella.
Honestly, Keith, it's 84 degrees in this SportsGrid studio in Midtown Manhattan. 57 and raining doesn't sound that bad at this moment. But Keith, before we look forward, let's look back. When you were here last week getting ready for the John Deere Classic at TPC Deere Run, we asked you some of those early leans on the early line. You went a little bit deeper down the board, and you highlighted Davis Thompson, who won his first PGA Tour event at nearly 30 under par in the Quad Cities, featuring a front 929 in his final round on Sunday. What was it about Thompson's game that you thought he might be able to break through for his first PGA Tour career victory last week in the Quad Cities?
Well, I'll tell you what, this kid has been a stud since his days at Georgia. He was the number one ranked amateur player in the world when he was a senior. He won the NCAA regionals a couple times. And now this being his second year out on tour, everyone was just waiting for him to win. And he was trending unbelievably, ninth at the U.S. Open, second at the Rocket Mortgage. And he had been playing so well because the driver, which had been a weapon for him in college, the kid's 6'4", and absolutely, he just rips it off the tee, had been kind of a problem for him, had plagued him at points in his professional career. But he's got it figured out right now. And as a result, he can score, there's no doubt. I mean, 126 over the weekend, there was no Sunday sweat. I don't care what the temperature is in that studio. You were calm, cool, and collected with that bet because we took it to the window on Sunday.
How about this? Let's talk about some other players there and some young up-and-coming golfers, which includes Luke Clanton, who, if you watched on Sunday, shot a -8 to drop his score to -24, which is tied for second, and a check that's estimated around $712,000. Congratulations to the kid. But, oh, no, Keith. He's an amateur. He can't dip into that prize pool. Why can't we say after the tournament, you know what, I'm going pro. I'm taking the 712, and away I go as a 20-year-old with my PGA Tour card in hand, hopefully at that point. Why can't we cash these tickets here, Keith?
Donnie, you know, there's a million things in golf I look at every week, and that slipped by me, and I tell you what, you're absolutely right. In the day and age of NIL, why is this kid not getting paid? It's the most absurd thing I've ever heard of. I mean, honestly, give the kid the check. I mean, there are guys and women making money in college sports that double that triple that, quadruple that. I mean, Bronny James, that's like a T-shirt deal for him. I mean, give the kid the $700K. I mean, at least he's proven himself as an athlete.
Absolutely so. Maybe his NIL deal now in college will be better because of his performance at the TPC Deere Run John Deere Classic. The things that slip by even the most astute golf fans never get by Donnie Wright's side. Keith, the things that my co-host fixates on each and every week always astound me. Now we go this week to the Scottish Open over across the pond as all the best in the world get ready to sharpen the iron for next week at Royal Trout in the 2024 Open Championship. The reigning champ at the Scottish Open, that would be one Rory McIlroy. He enters this week as the favorite, plus 750. No Scotty Scheffler at the Scottish Open. Seems like a misbranding and NIL opportunity. Xander Schauffele, second best price at plus 850. Colin Morikawa rounds out the top three at 14-1. Keith, some of the best in the world, a part of the Scottish Open. How do you expect them to fare this week ahead of the Open Championship?
I think the toughest spot for Rory is going to be the press room on Wednesday when he has to answer questions about the U.S. Open. Quite honestly, this golf course is set up perfect for him. The Renaissance Club is now in its 6th edition of the Scottish Open and its 3rd year of this co-sanctioned event with the DP World Tour. The first 2 years was won by Xander and then backed up last year by Rory. And I tell you what, the weather is always going to play a role over there. And I have to put up that green screen behind me and go all Al Roker on you guys. But it is raining today out there. It is below 60 degrees. and the wind is somewhat blowing. It is going to rain every day this week there, according to the forecast, but the wind is going to subside. And if you don't have wind over there, these guys are going to go low. I mean, Xander won in his edition in 2022 at 7 under par, and guys have won. Bernd Weisgerber won way back in 2018. He won it at 22 under par. So it tells you if you don't get wind at this place, you can go deep. And those two guys, Xander and Rory, are the perfect archetype player for what's going to happen there. You've got to be able to hit the ball long off the tee. There's very little penalty for missing the fairway there at the Renaissance Club. And the second thing is you have to be able to putt. And when you go across seas, the greens are going to be slower, so you have to be able to adjust, and you have to be able to putt from long distance. Sometimes that might even be off the green. And that's something that both Rory and Xander can do very well. Colin as well, but I wonder about his length. So as far as the favorites go, there's a good chance if Rory can, put the U.S. Open behind him, that he wins this thing by 5 because it's the perfect golf course for him.
We love that long money out here, Keith. Let's take a look at some of these guys a little bit farther down in those price points because this is a really good field for the Scottish Open. A lot of big names with some good money behind them.
There's no doubt about that. And there's one guy I have my eye on, and he won here in 2020, and he's been a name that everyone's been talking about on your channel and every other channel for the last couple of weeks, and that's Aaron Rai. He started the week yesterday at the odds drop at plus 5,500. He's already dropped down to plus 4,500. He finished, second there at the Rocket Mortgage. He was top 10 again at the John Deere Classic. And the reason for that is that this guy's always been an incredible ball striker. But guess what? He's going to see John Graham, PGA professional and putting coach out there on tour, and he's turned around the putting. He gained almost 9 strokes at TPC Deere Run, and that led him into that top 10 position and contending on Sunday. I love Rye coming back to a place that he's won. And guess what? With bad weather, the guy already wears 2 gloves. He'll be ready for any kind of situation out there when it comes to the Scottish Open.
North Berwick, Scotland, and then we go to the west coast of Scotland for the 2024 Open Championship at Royal Trout next week, the final major of this year in golf. And we're already looking forward to 2025 in the Ryder Cup. You bet your bottom dollar at Bethpage. Keith will talk about it next. Big news in the golf world yesterday for the 2025 Ryder Cup out on Long Island at Bethpage Black on home soil. The captain for the Americans, that is Keegan Bradley. Keith Stewart joins us once again live right here for a second consecutive segment. Keith, there was some reporting around who the captain would potentially be for the United States in the 2025 Ryder Cup on home soil. Maybe one known as the Big Cat, Eldrick Tiger Woods. He's not the captain. It's Keegan Bradley. What was your reaction to the news that Bradley will lead in the captaincy for the U.S. in 2025?
Well, Ben, I sit in an interesting position. When I was out in Valhalla, I was the betting lead for the PGA of America, so I'm behind the curtain a little bit. It was not going to be Tiger. Tiger had turned it down on several occasions. They were holding out hope, but at the end of the day, I don't think Bethpage, that setting, and all that's going on in his world right now, that becomes a positive situation for him. I know that all of golf Twitter wants Tiger to be the captain, but at the end of the day, is he really the best choice? I mean, we know that Zach Johnson wasn't the best choice in Rome, but, an unproven entity like Tiger and what he did as a playing captain at the President's Cup down in 2019 in Australia, I don't feel that applies as much. The microscope on the Ryder Cup runs far deeper than it does for the President's Cup. And I think that Tiger in New York, Tiger as a road captain would be a much better fit for me as they go over to Ireland in 2027.
Keith, I love the Ryder Cup. I just think it's a sensational playing field stage. And for a while, 6 out of 7 wins there for Team Europe. And then you take a look at the last 4 have been split. And home court advantage, should we say home course advantage, makes a lot of sense in those last 4. But let me ask you this question about the playing field itself. Live golfers, PGA Tour golfers, is there going to be any people left out because they play on the Live Golf Tour as opposed to the PGA Tour?
Well, Donnie, I think that this decision to take Keegan sets a lot of precedents by the PGA of America. Number one, everyone gets this confused. The PGA of America is not the PGA Tour. So the group that I am a member of, the PGA of America, they run the U.S. side of the Ryder Cup. They are making decisions based upon what they feel is best for Team USA. Remember, Brooks earned a spot on that team back in Rome for last fall, and he was on the Live Tour. And Captain Zach Johnson took him with him. So at the end of the day, I think that this bodes very well for the Brysons and the Brooks of the world. I mean, you want to talk about live controversy. This should have been Phil's team. This was Phil's team. He was going to go to New York and captain them at Bethpage Black and probably against somebody like Ian Poulter. And could you imagine the theater that would have created out on Long Island? And we don't get that right now because of the dispute between the Live Tour and the PGA Tour. Well, I think the PGA America is saying, you know what? We're all sick of this. We are going to pick the person who we think is going to put the best team chemistry together, who is going to take this thing like Herb Brooks in 1980 and go after that European juggernaut, and it's going to make it our time. It's no longer their time. No more 6 out of 7. This is our time, Donnie.
Wow. Keith Stewart might need to be in that locker room with Keegan Bradley as well. So, Keith, there's an idea about who is not the captain, right? We mentioned Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, but Keegan Bradley, his Twitter bio is the people's golfer. What will Keegan Bradley bring to Team USA as its captain for the 2025 Ryder Cup?
What I think Keegan Bradley is going to bring to the team is a little bit of unsettledness. You ever watch Keegan Bradley play? He's very fidgety. He is very in your face, and he is an incredible ball striker. I think he's going to put these guys on edge, and that's what we need. The boys club is officially disbanded. This is not going to happen again, and I am super excited about this. Everyone on Twitter complained after Rome. We don't like the way the PGA of America does this. We don't like this. We don't like this. They have done something completely outside the box, and now everyone's complaining again that this guy isn't good enough. As far as I'm concerned, Keegan Bradley plays golf with Michael Jordan all the time. How about 3 guys that are out of work right now? Coach K, Nick Saban, and Bill Belichick. Put them in the locker room instead of a bunch of guys that are, Davis Love disciples. I am sick of all that. I can't stand it anymore. I want guys that are going to absolutely go in there and want to just run up and down the fairway at Bethpage Black with no shirt on, wrapped in an American flag, like Jim Craig did back in 1980. This is what we need in order to get the job done, not just at Bethpage Black, but when we go to Ireland in a couple more years. I love the change in trajectory here by my association.
Team USA, a minus money favorite to win the 2025 Ryder Cup. That's next September. 2 Septembers at minus 145. What a raucous environment and atmosphere it is going to be on Long Island at Bethpage Black. Keith Stewart, we appreciate the time. Double duty on this Tuesday here on the Early Line.